All right, so if you've been with SimplyPips or AQZ for a while, and perhaps you've heard me take maybe one webinar or the other, you notice it's almost impossible for me to talk about trading and not talk about prop firm. I feel prop firms are a blessing to traders right now because it's one way you can maximize your winnings. Average retail trader would fund their account with perhaps 1,000, many less than 1,000, but let's say 1,000. If you don't want to get involved in the gambling attitude of trying to flip accounts, if you want to trade with low risk and trade such that you remain in the market long enough, you would discover that a 10%, 20% in a month is difficult to find, right? If you practice proper risk management, where you risk perhaps 2% of your account. I see people say, I just doubled my account, right? And when you private chat them, are like, wow, that's very great. What's your account balance? What's your equity? The equity is $50. That's not doubling an account, right? That's practically like gambling. No wealthy person, no wealth management firm, no bank, no financial house will give you their fund if you tell them you double their account, because they know you can easily lose that money also. So an average trader will reach between 1% to 3% per position, depending on their account balance. So if your account is smaller, you might want to risk slightly higher. And if your account is bogus, then you want to go slow and steady. Because 2% of 5% of 100,000 might sustain you much more than 5% of 1,000. So on an average, a trader would do 10% in a month. And again, if you find any trader doing 10% in a month in, month out, for an average of 6 months, you should doff your hat for that trader. The trader is a very, very good and disciplined trader. Most traders find it difficult to perform that feat. So with 10% on $1,000, that leaves you at $100. It depends on where you are residing upon the face of the globe. I doubt if $100 will make you comfortable, let alone fulfill your life ambitions. There comes in prop firms, where you could have access to MFF will give you from 10,000, I think. FTMO, I think, is the lowest, should be 50K. I'm not too sure, 25, 50K, I'm not sure again. And then FTMO, you could have you could go as far as 400 per obligo per person. So imagine you have $100,000 account, and then you make that same 10%. That would be 10,000. And then for FTMO, you'll be given 70%, that's 7,000. And for MFF, you'll be given 80%, that's 8,000. That trumps whatever flip you want to do on a 1,000 account. You need to grow a 1,000 account by 800%. And even if you do that in the month of March, there's every likelihood you can't repeat that in the month of April. So prop firms are very, 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 very attractive to traders, but they're also very helpful to building proper risk management and at the same time sustainable form of living. However, there are some statistics that are not well known to traders that doesn't help traders to be more serious with the deficiencies that leave them in the hole. And today we'll be looking at some of them. This is from my Forex fund, and these are statistics for the month of October. New live accounts, 3,544. I don't know what that means. I don't know what new live account means. It could be that new accounts that traders are trading in terms of live account or challenges. I don't know, and I don't want to bug myself with that. Total payout 1.4 million. Again, let's leave that out. Most traded pair, gold, right? Most people cherish gold, and I think we did a webinar on in AQZ sometime 2 or 3 months ago, and practically nobody in that webinar knew how to calculate the proper lot sizing for gold. Yet, gold is one of the most traded currency pair in the Forex market. It should tell you how pathetic sometimes our growth is in this industry when you don't structure it properly using data I'll be providing for us today. Now, most profitable pair, notice that the most traded one isn't the most profitable. The most profitable pair is GBP/AUD. The least profitable pair, GJ. Now, that's not the problem. Let's go to the lower part of this sheet. 18% pass phase one. I'm going to call up my car. So we'll do this together. Right? I'll call up my car here. See if I can shrink this a little. Boy, I need to shrink this. Yep, that's it. Okay. Right? 18% pass phase one. Now, because I've done this calculation before, I won't use 100. I will use 1,000, just so that by the time we get to our final point, we won't be having decimals. We would have, whole numbers. So if we have 1,000 people attempting to trade for MFF, and I want you to have at the back of your mind that FTMO might be worse, right? I'm using the word might because there's also that psychological tendency that more people will gravitate towards MFF because of the perceived ease in passing it, 8% as against 10% for FTMO. So it could mean that MFF attracts, every type of trader, and FTMO might just be attracting some traders that are slightly more advanced. Again, I don't have data to support that, but MFF it is. MFF we will discuss. If we have 1,000 participants for the month of October, or generally, 18%, that will be times 0.18, will pass phase one. That takes us down to 180. Now, let's do the calc again. Let's get the losers. 820 people usually will not pass phase one. What it means is 820 people fail to make 8% in a month. $820 people who lack the discipline to sit down and follow their trade plan, but will be in our Telegram groups telling us how TP has been smashed and arguing which strategy is better than the other. Who cares? Why would you spend 4 hours of your time trying to impress total strangers who don't care whether you win or lose? Why? It's a phase in trading. Almost everybody who is a profitable trader passed through that phase. Well, let's leave the losers and focus on the winners because we want to be winners. 180 pass phase 1. 2, 31% of the traders who pass phase 1 pass phase 2. So let's do our count again, times 0.31. That number has dropped to 55.8. And since we don't have 0.8 humans, let's make this 56. Again, negative 1,000. 944 people dash MFF their challenge fee. 944 persons almost slip into depression. 944 persons get their hope dashed. 944 persons see their dreams slip through their fingers like sand at the seashore. 56 only pass phase 2. These 56 that pass phase 2 get a certificate, and we celebrate them. And they can post it on Facebook, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. But this year alone, I lost 2 of my Prof firm accounts. So I passed them. I traded with them. Fortunately, in my own case, I even withdrew for one of them up to 4 times. But then I lost it. It isn't passing FTMO or Prof firm that matters, because you didn't come into the industry to pass. You came into this industry to make life easy for yourself by making money. You didn't come into this industry to pass. This is not WAEC or JAM or any academic exercise, which is why we keep telling people, what do you want? Do you want to be right or do you want to make money? When you get an invalidation, do you just take the rule is an invalidation and cut your trade, or you try to struggle with the market to prove that you are right? Are you here to be right or to make money? If you are here to be right, you would want to be right at the detriment of the health of your account. You would move your stop loss just so you could give the market enough chance to show to prove you right. You would adjust your TP when price goes vehemently in your direction, wanting to grab more and therefore losing, just because you want to be right. If you have low self-esteem, you would hide away from us, your losing trades, and flash your winning trades so we could clap for you. And all those claps will not change the price of fish in the market, neither will it affect the financial well-being of your family. Let's come back to the calculator. 56 persons out of 1,000. Now, you know why I used 1,000 as against 100. Now, after passing phase 2, how many get their very first profit split? For MFF, I think the very first profit split is like 30 days, then thereafter 2 weeks or thereabout. So let's see this. 56. 4% of these 56 traders reach their first profit split. So 4% will be times 0.04. Ladies and gentlemen, remember we rounded up the last time, so let's round down now. Only 2 persons out of 1,998 fall by the wayside. My mathematics suck here. I would want to know, if we put this versus 100, how many percent is that? We could say 2 divided by 1,000 times 100. That leaves us as still 2, somehow, 2%. So when they say 98% of traders lose, well, MFF just provided a proof for us. Very few persons pay from their crypto account, from their Skrill, from their bank accounts, anticipating that they will lose. It should be 0.2. Thank you so much. It should be 0.2. Right? Very few persons attempt this hoping that they will lose. Rather, we hope against hope that we will win. Now, let's look at the important note beneath this picture. And I hope you can see the picture. There's an important note beneath there. Can somebody unmute and please read it? If you're in a quiet place, kindly unmute and read that important. I need to be sure that we're seeing it.
The pass rate was particularly high this month because our violation system was missing a large number of violations.
Thank you so much.
Large number of violations.
Large number of violations. So they practically had some rules which they call which when you go against, you could say to be said to have violated those. And when you violate a rule, you practically have lost the account. So they mentioned that the pass rate, they didn't say the pass rate was high. At least I know a little bit of English. They didn't say the pass rate was high. They said the pass rate was particularly high, meaning that it was significantly above the average. Significantly above the average. The rhetorical question here becomes, then what is the average? If 2 out of 1,000 is particularly high, then what is the average? Right? Kindly mute out yourself, please. Thank you. So, with that, you could just have an idea. I'm already thinking of pulling some resources together and start a prop firm. I will not lose because every money is paid to me for challenge will help in just building my bank account. So it seems. So it seems. Let's see the next one. This is the month of November. This is the month of November. New live accounts, 5,007. Again, I don't care about that. The payout this time was higher. Could it be because we had some persons who particularly made it the last month? Right? Let's call up our calc again and repeat the previous exercise. Again, out of 1,000, 100, which is 10%, passed phase 1. Passed phase 1. That is 80 below the previous month. Now I understand why they say it was particularly high. And then 24% of this number, which is now 24 itself. Right? The last time it was 56, if you remember. Now 3% passed this phase to get to their very first withdrawal. This is less than 1, ladies and gentlemen. This is less than 1 out of 1,000 persons. Less than 1 out of 1,000 persons. You know, when I was laughing initially the other time when I said, if 2 is significantly high, then what is average? Well, average is less than 1. Let's read the notes. For the start of the month, the pass rate was high due to our violation system missing a large number of violations. So obviously, that violation system that actually wasn't triggered in October lingered till early part of November, and then they were able to fix it, and boom, violations front, right, and center. Now, if a trader cannot discipline himself or herself to make 5-8% in a month, who are you deceiving? Coming to MT4, to Telegram, and every day you're telling us my TP was just smashed. My be something. I didn't post you didn't post the setup before taking the trade. You posted the setup, then maybe we'll understand. You didn't post the setup. We don't care whether you hit TP or not. We will clap for you, but I have never clapped for anybody in my years of trading. And the person say, Bishop, you clapped so much. Send your domiciliary account. Let me dash you $100 for clapping. Please, if somebody has done that for you before, can you please just signify by putting a 1 in the chat box? Somebody posted his result. You so praise the person, and the person say, come, let me dash you. Put a 1 in the chat box. Oh my. So I want us to see this, right? I'm not saying this to discourage you. I know after now, some of you will go and price lands in your villages and start thinking of maybe you should just go back to cocoa farming. Go and farm timber and whatever. For me, there is no industry apart from owning an oil rig in Nigeria, or perhaps being a politician, or if you are just an outright thief, that could give you the type of maybe affiliate marketing. Yep, marketers always earn they are the highest paid in the world. What industry again would you want to go to? Well, let's not spend so much time chatting. Let's see. Let's read this. A trader who holds trades over the weekend has a 60% high chance of failing or losing their account. A trader. Somebody say, with this statistic, do we have hope at all? Well, let's continue. A trader who holds trades over the weekend has a 60% high chance of failing or losing their account. I didn't say this, MFF is saying this. I remember how when MFF came, many people were shouting, hey, MFF has done it. We are swing traders. We like holding our trade over the weekend. MFF gave us 60% of those people still failed. When you lose, don't blame weekend. When the market is more volatile, more traders fail because of a lack of risk management discipline. Aha. As traders, what do we seek? We seek volatility. Why do we call Asia range the dead range? Because it isn't volatile for the majors, except maybe for AU. You rarely see AUD, NZD, JPY pairs move 120 pips, 30 pips during Asia, right? So we practically don't trade them, except the guys in US, you know, it just sits well with your timing. And if you can't wake up at 2 a.m. to trade London, then you might just have to make do with Asia. And in that case, I'll advise you trade pairs like EAEN, EG, AJ, sorry, not EG, EAEN, GAGJ, and AJ, right? Because those are pairs for the Asia session. Somebody's mic is on. Apex, kindly mute out your mic. Apex, mute out your mic. There are 5 traders. Let me see. I think I could just make somebody a co-host. I'll make PD a co-host so it could help me in case make co-host, and also make Dusty a co-host. All right, so let's move on. If volatility is prolonged, no, I'm not done with the second point. As retail traders, we crave for volatility. I would rather trade in London when I could get when GU could move an average of 70 pips and I get my 2025 than trade in Asia when GU might not move that much. Let me see if I have something to show us here. All right, so this is one chart I use. Let's pick a pair like GU. Right, so watch this. This small khaki color, I don't know if that's right. Yeah, I don't, right? That's GU. GU only moved 16.6 pips in Asia and then moved 45 pips, thereafter. Then the previous day, GU only moved 16 pips in Asia. And then it had a range between London and New York of 63 pips. This day is even sweeter. It had just 12.5 pips in Asia. And then it moved a whooping 109 thereafter. So you understand why I suggested those pairs. So when would you rather trade? Asia, 12.5, or after Asia? Would rather trade after Asia. So retail traders, we actually love volatility. That is where we find our money from. Or so we think. Or so we think. Because statistics is telling us that then when the market is more volatile, more traders fail. And the reason is because they lack risk management discipline. I have another statistics from 8 brokers. Unfortunately, it didn't occur to me to get that document out. It's an old one, it's about 2 years old, but I don't think anything has changed. And that data pointed out that about 75% of retail traders get the direction right, but they still lose. So they take a buy, it hits their stop loss, and then it buys 75% of the time. Point 3, if volatility is prolonged, it is a bloodbath of epic proportions. Man, it's been long I heard these words put together. If volatility is prolonged, it is a bloodbath of epic proportions. Somebody is saying these statistics are bloody. They themselves use the word blood. And it wasn't just blood, bloodbath. Not just bloodbath, of epic proportions. I know I am changing the intonation of my voice to let it sink in, so that when you go to think about the birth of Jesus Christ and Christmas, you also think about what you want to do next year, whether you want to continue here, and if you want to continue, what you must do to succeed. If you repeat the same thing you did this year, next year, you won't end the same, you will end worse, because you would have just lost 1 year out of your life and perhaps be poorer for it. Now, there are 5 traders who are on their 8th payout on Evaluation Live account. Unfortunately, I'm not part of them. Unfortunately. There are 5 traders who are on their 8th payout on Evaluation Live accounts. This is on evaluation. This one is strictly for evaluation. Now look at the characteristics of these 5 traders. Look at their characteristics. All of them trade conservatively. So where are those guys that say, I just flip my account? I just flip my account. Go and flip 100,000 MFF. Flip it for 2 months and come back. I will close SimplyPips and come and wash your shoe. All of them trade conservatively. And make sure they get paid. Remember, I mentioned that. Why are you trading? Are you trading because you want to be right, or are you trading to make money? I don't know about you. I am trading to make money. In fact, recently, I technically abandoned SimplyPips because of one new company, IPC, that came, because I'm making money. Guys, I love you in SimplyPips, but if something is giving me more money, take the back seat. It's in December. I've tried from January to December. We all have tried. I think we should take the back seat into Christmas, eat our chicken and turkey. And if you can't afford chicken and turkey, try fishing and catch one fish. It's part of it. We are in this business to make money, guys. No sentiments here. Recently, I was talking with some group of friends. And one of them was like, you know, I like personally, even if I trade AQZ, Wyckoff, snake in the monkey shadow, whatever the strategy I trade, if I can't see yesterday high, yesterday low on my chart, I can't see Asia high, Asia low on my chart, I'm not trading. That is me. You might have yours. If I'm going to buy, I will very rarely buy above Asia high. Very rarely buy above Asia high. Except if it is giving me an RCE, a retracement continuation entry, for which case there will be another block, an AQZ confined candle, holding forth for me, and recently, a low edge, the fractal. So when I was discussing with those my friends, we have agreed that this is the methodology we should use in trading, right? But sometimes, some of us will break that rule. And when we break the rule, the trade will hit TP. The trade will hit TP. So you would want to scold the trader, or we would want to scold one another, but we would be tongue-tied because the trade hit TP. The question is, did the account grow thereafter? The answer is no. The account didn't grow. The account didn't grow because even a wrong strategy, like flipping a penny, a coin, to determine whether it is head or tail. Early this year, I introduced the team to asymmetric compounding, asymmetric risk compounding, right? I introduced it to us around January this year. And we did an exercise where we got a randomizer, more or less like a coin, toss the coin. When it says head, we buy. And when it says tail, we sell. I even sent a video. And it made money, even though the video was trying to point out at risk-reward ratio. If you use a very stupid strategy that doesn't make sense, it will be right at least twice. Just like they say, a broken clock will be right 2 times in a day, but it doesn't make it a usable clock. It is broken. All of them trade conservatively and make sure they get paid. You should be asking yourself, if I do this, if you use AQZ here, you would have heard me tell you several times. Doug has done a very wonderful work to tell you invalidations, validations, invalidations, validations. If you don't write a trade plan around AQZ, as simple as that strategy is, you will not make profit month after month after month after month from January to December. You must have a strategy. AQZ is a tool, is a method. It isn't a trading strategy. right? So to be profitable with AQZ, you need to develop your own trading strategy. Then you now fit your trading strategy into a trade plan. You must have a plan. If I get invalidated twice, I'm closing shop for that day. If I get invalidated 4 times, I'm closing shop for that day. How would you arrive at the number of times you need to get invalidated? Perhaps you might want to consider the percentage loss you would want to incur in a day. And then you might want to divide it across the number of pairs you may want to trade in a day. Then you might want to divide it across the number of times you may anticipate invalidations in a day. If you take 1% and trade 5 pairs and they all give you invalidations, you've just lost 5%. You've just lost your FTMO account. I see people trading gold and trading GBP USD. They post their result. I just grew my account. Gold 0.05 lot size. GBP USD 0.05 lot size. Are you sure you know what you're doing? You can win GBP USD 10 times with 0.05 lot size. If you lose once in gold, it will wipe out all of that GU. It will wipe it out clean and even takes more away from your account. If we go to school and spend years to learn how to be doctors, how to be nurses, how to be engineers, who told you you will just stroll into this market 3 days later, like IML told us, they have a particular tool called swipe trade, just copy and paste, copy and paste. If you are here and you copy and paste it and you made money and you went to the domiciliary section of your bank and withdrew the money 2 months back to back, put a 1 in the chat box if you understand what I mean. I'll continue because I know there will be no one. Right? None of them risks more than 2% per trading day. Notice this, not per trade, per trading day. So if they decide to risk 1% per day, and if their strategies, if their trade plan rather, is to trade 1 pair per day and have just 1 entry, then maybe 2%. Some have multiple entries, like 3 or 4 tries. And that means they'll divide the 2% by 3 or 4. Now look at this. And they stop when they have reached 4 to 8%. When they hit 4 to 8%, they practically stop. Why? They want to earn that 4 to 8%. They know that they cannot predict with certainty the outcome of the next trade. And because I just got a winning streak and I've hit 4, 5, 8%, let me put a pause, withdraw this money first, put it in my shokoto. Sorry if you don't understand that, pocket. And then I revisit the market again. 2 weeks ago, I went back to FTMO YouTube. And you know, they usually do this exercise where they interview traders. Personally, I see that as a marketing stunt. And they, of course, they need to market their product. They show us, recently, they haven't been able to show us traders that make 64,000, and they just show us 10,000 and the likes, right? 2 of those traders who were interviewed mid 2020, mid 2021, middle of this year, as an outcome of the interview, they started their own YouTube channel and started their mentorship program. They came out later to say, at least for one of them, I think he made, I can't remember how much now, but above 30,000. I think it was pounds or euro, I can't remember. He lost that account the very next month after the interview. Of course, FTMO YouTube won't tell you that. So he made the money, he withdrew it, he got famous with an interview, and then lost the account. If he needs to make money again, he needs to go back and start again. And I don't dislike that. I love it. If I'm going to make 30,000 every 3 months and then go back, start again, whoop, that's good business. I'll do that. But the point I want you to see here is that many people have it and then they lose it. So it isn't the I made 50%, I made 40%. And everybody interviewed speaks so highly of their strategy. But at least two after then lost their account. One the very next month, the other one I think 2 or 3 months later. And of course, like I mentioned, I've lost 2 of mine this year, so it's normal. All traders who received record payouts, look at that last point. All traders who received record payouts. Record payout means they like double, they did like 100%, 80%, 70%, that the payout was a record. This guy broke the record. All traders who receive record payouts have lost their account within 3 weeks of the record payout due to excessive risk. If you appreciate what I'm telling you today, please put a 5 in the chat box. If you don't appreciate it, but you are scared, it means you appreciate it. Also put a 5 in the chat box. These are things people don't tell you. These are things people don't tell you, guys. So when I came up 3 months back, 4 months back, and I did a webinar, I invited you guys and I said, look, if you're not consistently profitable yet, add something to trading. I told you about, I've forgotten the name now, but the name is not hyper something. So it seems I've forgotten the previous name. Something HP I've forgotten. I told you guys, I invested just $1,000, and in about 3 weeks now, it's grown. In about 3 months now, it's grown well over close to 5,000. I've shown about 4 or 5 things, and in those 4 or 5 things, I have made money in all of them. In the recent one, I took delivery of, let me not say that, I'm recording this, so let's leave that. But the point is that there's profit. So if your trade is not doing well, something else is sustaining you. And that is why when people come to the fostering program, I run a fostering program where we try to groom people to trade for prop firms. One of the first things I say is, don't resign from your job because of trading. Don't try it. If your income presently is $1,000, get to a point where you are making $5,000 from trading practically every month, then you may resign and then you might survive it. I had a good paying job. I was a banker, a branch manager for that matter. I resigned, but before I resigned, I had 2 years' salary saved up. My policy is this: if you are earning 200,000 naira, for instance, per month, if anything untoward happened to your job, you would most likely survive on half of that salary. You'll most likely survive on it. So if you have been working in a paid employment for 5 years, and you don't have at least 1 year or 6 months salary saved, you are overspending and you are living dangerously. Except, of course, you live in developed countries where they pay you money for being at home. If you lose your job and you did what I did, save 2 years' salary, it means, or except for rare occasions where unforeseen circumstances like ill health comes in, you could practically survive for 4 years, negating inflation. And within that time, you find something else to do. Somebody say, you can't hear me clearly. Is that general? Is that general?
Loud and clear, sir.
Not at all. We can hear
I'm
you.
loud and clear. All right, great. So guys,
Okay.
I hope you are getting the gist. I'm not saying this to scare us away. I'm saying this so that we get excessive trading. You got paid big time and then you lost the account. Wouldn't you rather go 5% steady, 10% steady, 6%? Look at those guys. These guys did what? They have their eight payouts, and they've been going 4 to 8%. Let's use an average. If we find an average, 8 plus 4, that gives us 12. And then find divide by 2, that gives us 6. Right? So if you have that, it means they've been doing an average of 6%. They've been doing an average of 6%. Right? I'll quickly do 6 times 8. It means these guys have done 48%. So if they are trading a 100K account, they've been able to amass $448,000, and they are going to have 80% of that. That is $38,000 in 8 months divided by 8. They go home every day with about 4,800. If you're in Nigeria, multiply this by 570. That's about 2.7 million. And if you're able to multitask like we show, then you can even do more. Right, let's begin to wrap this up. So trading, and especially for prop trading, is sold as an easy way to make money without changing who you are. And that is a blatant lie. Permit me to even add, from the pit of hell. So it is not clear. I'm wondering why this is not clear. You must change who you are to be profitable. You cannot come into the market exactly the way you are and be profitable. You can't go into a medical school and say, leave me the way I am and graduate and be a very good doctor. You can't go to a military school and say, leave me the way I am. I like sleeping till 11 a.m. I like eating junk. Just leave me the way I am and you'll be a good soldier. It's not possible. Something must give way if you must be a profitable trader. Something must give way. In your psychology, something must give way. In your daily carriage of life, something must give way. In your adaptation of technology, something must give way. Number 2, strategy alone is not it. Notice everything we read here, they didn't make mention of strategy at all. They made mention of risk management, discipline, and also risk, excessive risk. Again, risk, right? Risk, not strategy. Risk. All you need to do with strategy is find a strategy that suits you. That is all. And that is where strategy ends. Find a strategy that suits you. That is the end of strategy. All this war over ICT, BTMM, AQZ, order flow, Duke Banzani. Find a strategy that suits you. That is where strategy starts and ends. And I keep saying, once you click buy or sell on your MT4, you cease to be a trader. You are a trader until you click on buy and sell or sell. Once you've done that on your MT4, you cease to become a trader. You are now a risk manager. So Prof is talking about designing an EA that will help him close trades even when volatility causes the trade to jump his stop loss. That is risk management. That is not strategy. That is not strategy at all. So strategy on the one hand, risk management on another, put both together and you get a trade plan. You put both together to get a trade plan. And the trade plan I'm going to use for MFF is different from the trade plan I'm going to use for FTMO. It's going to be different from the trade plan I'm going to use for my individual account. I might use the same strategy, but I'll use 3 different trade plans. FTMO looks at final balance. MFF looks at equity. The trade plan can never be the same thing. It can never be the same thing. I can't have a trade running in 5% profit in MFF, and I'll say because I'm a swing trader, I'll lie to come back. I may try that in FTMO. MFF will kick me out. So you see, I'm using the same strategy, but I have to adapt to MFF by changing the trade plan to suit MFF. Trading is really a good way to make money. I don't need to stress that. We all know that already. And finally, desire without determination leads nowhere. Almost every trader desires to be profitable, but desiring it doesn't do anything. If you're a religious person and you're a Christian here, I keep saying this every time I have the opportunity to say this. Christians, we like praying, we like quiet time and all the likes. If January to December, you always say, I'm going to read my Bible, I'm going to read my Bible, and you don't have the discipline to do that, I doubt if you have the discipline to follow any trade plan. I doubt if you have the discipline. If you've been telling yourself, I need to start my YouTube page, I want to write a blog, and that has been your song for 7 years, and up to now you've not written it, I doubt if you'll be a good trader. You can't be a total jerk and failure in life and all of a sudden come into trading without changing, which is my point number 1, and then you just become profitable. Life doesn't work that way, neither does trading. There has to be a fundamental shift in your personality. If wishes were horses, beggars will ride on them, they say. It isn't desire. You must be determined to create a change. So I want to appreciate you all for coming here. I will pause this video at one point and give us opportunity to discuss. I'm practically not trading this week. I think I'm done for the year. I'm running a challenge, a $200,000 challenge on MFF. As it is presently, I'm slightly above 2%. That was as at Thursday. So I just stopped there. I'll allow it to expire so that they can give me a renewal, right? And then I'll continue in January. That is a trade plan. That is a trade plan. That is part of what should be in your trade plan, right? Those of you in the heroes of the fostering group, you remember one account like that was almost going down, and we began to stack until we cleared it, right? So for those of you in the SimplyPips family who haven't passed through the fostering program, it will be starting on the 15th of January, most likely. We'll start another batch and see if we could get. For me, I always say that the fostering program is a success if I have 20 people, and at the end of the program runs for 3 months, if I have 20 people and the program runs for 3 months, and 3 months after the program ends, that is 6 months in, 2 out of the 20 are trading for a prop firm, I've passed. Why? 2 divided by 20 times 100 is 10%. I am 8% better than the industry in delivering profitable traders. And the remaining 90 know exactly what they need to do. At least, if for nothing, they take their losses gallantly. Right? All right, so I'll stop recording right now and give room for us to discuss. If you feel like discussing, sorry if I spoiled your day. Just go watch Chelsea the next time they play.